All right, well, happy Sunday, or you might be watching the replay and it's a different day of the week, but it is a Sunday and it is daylight savings time officially today. And so we are here to share a little bit about don't let the clock steal your sparkle. It is for me, I will say that hour makes a difference. It's something about springing forward. I am so happy that it was light at almost 7 p.m., but who is feeling like, ooh, I missed my hour. I like my sleep. All right. And when we are feeling tired, sometimes we see it where first in the eyes. And so our session today is going to be about not letting that clock steal your sparkle because it's not just one day. I've seen the memes where they show how the coffee cups get bigger and bigger on daylight savings time because where everybody needs the venti coffee because it's like you're so tired, you're so sleepy. Then that first couple of days, just readjusting to that shift. All right. And so we're going to share with you, instead of a venti coffee, we're going to talk about a couple of things that may help you with the eye area. That's our focus this evening and with this session is not letting the clock steal your sparkle. And we're going to talk all about things connected to the eyes. So, whether it's things for skincare or even some glam tips for brightening the eyes. Oftentimes, I've shared this in sessions that I've done before, but have you ever had someone say to you, you look tired? Okay. Why do they say that? Because they're looking at you in your eyes, right? And whenever someone has said that to me, I'll be like, that is not a compliment. But I try not to say that part, but I think my face may say it without me actually saying the words. Okay. But when they do, it's like, okay, they're keeping it 100. But that could be my signal to myself. It's like, all right, I know I need to get sleep. But on those days when you can't get sleep, hello, perimenopause, right? You're not getting all the sleep that you need to get. What are some hacks that you can use? And so we're going to start talking a little bit about eye creams first. Okay. So we're going to talk about some basic things. We're going to talk about some advanced skincare things. And then we're going to talk about some makeup tips. All right. So if you're taking notes, feel free to write a couple notes down. Maybe use your phone to take notes. Maybe let your consultant know what's on your wish list. Maybe these are things you use already. All right. Either way, we'd love to get your feedback on something new you learned or something you could see yourself using personally. All right. So when it comes to the basics, we're going to talk about eye cream first. Okay. And in Mary Kay, we have a few, but I'm going to talk about two today. All right. And people have even equated it to like, your starter your starter eye cream and then even an eye cream for like taking it to the next level. Uh and that is going to be our Time Wise eye cream and then also our Time Wise Repair eye cream. Okay. So when you're just getting started, if you're not using eye cream at all, this is a good entry point into an eye cream. This is great because where we see aging first is usually under the eyes. The skin under your eyes is a third of the thickness of the rest of your face. And so your Time Wise eye cream is just going to really help to give that hydration because if you try to use the moisturizer from your skincare on your eyes, it's too heavy, it's too thick. It will not absorb into the eye area. And so a little hack to keep the clock from interfering with your sparkle is using an eye cream daily. In fact, using it twice a day. And so the thought is, what finger should we use for the eyes? It is your ring finger because this finger has the least amount of pressure. Sometimes people want to say, well, I want to use this finger. I use this finger for everything. This finger, your pointer finger, is really strong. And so it's too, like a lot of times we're rough. Like even touching I am naturally using more pressure because this is a stronger finger versus the ring finger. When you even lift it up, like if you try lifting up right now, you'll find it feels awkward. It's like, ooh, that feels awkward to even lift it up, but that has less pressure. And so using an eye cream around that little bit is like what I would suggest it. And so when it comes to how much eye cream you use, I'm going to show you, okay? Because again, we're going to teach you portion control. All right. So you're getting the best value for your product. That little dot is enough for your eye area. Okay. And so literally you just can apply it. And a little tip, I did it the wrong way. If you start from the outer and go inward, you can't pull or tug at the skin. So maybe it's a thought, I'm going to start using an eye cream each morning. I'm going to start using an eye cream each morning. And that could be your tip for yourself. Like, I'm going to take the 15 seconds to literally put a little eye cream. And admittedly, I know I use eye cream at night, but I don't always put it on in the daytime. Ooh, because I use the Big Mama eye cream, right? The Time Eyes Repair, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I have been saying to myself, I need to start using an eye cream every morning. Okay. And so for me, I like to use this one in the daytime. And I like to use the repair one at night. And we'll talk a little bit about why it is. So that just feels hydrating. You can put a little bit like over the eye area, but because I use eye shadows and so forth, that's one of the reasons I usually don't put eye cream on over like the lid. But I really want to use it under the eyes because isn't that where we usually see the like the darkness first is under the eye area. So that is your basic entryway. They've even called it the push-up bra. If we needed like for the training bra, like when we were just starting out, here's your training bra eye cream, and that would be your Time-Wise 3D. I'm sorry, not 3D, Time-Wise eye cream. But the Big Mama version is the Time-Wise Repair, y'all. This is one probably in the top five of my favorite Mary Kay products. And the reason why is this applicator. Okay. And we have a live studio audience. So y'all feel free to use the chat. If you're like concurring, you're like, yes, this is my favorite. Share a tip because again, all of us have different experiences with our skincare, with our products. Maybe you've recently upgraded and switched from one product to the next. But why I love this is this applicator. This applicator uses Zamac. It's like a zinc, aluminum, magnesium, like it's a combination. It's basically the same material they use for boxers. Like when a boxer gets like punched and they get that like swelling in the eyes, and then they put that rock thing over the eye, and all of a sudden the puffiness goes down. Did you know that this applicator is made out of the same material? And so when I learned that, I've been using this product for over a decade. I know for sure. This was one of the first product I used in the Time-Wise Repair line because I didn't get enough sleep. I've struggled with this for a really long time, you getting the amount of sleep that I need. But this eye cream really helps. Again, you just squeeze a little bit and you don't even have to use your fingers. You just roll it in. And that's why I use it like using it at night because then I can just roll it in, not have to touch anything with my actual fingers. And it feels cool to the touch. It stays cool. This eye cream will last me, I don't know, months, like 3, 4 months at least. Then you start squeezing it and you're going to get every last little remnant out like you do your toothpaste, okay? Because we're about to getting our value. And this is the creme de la creme eye cream from Mary Kay, the Time-Wise Repair. So if you're just starting out, having an eye cream is really important. Don't think, I use moisturizer on my face. I can just put a little bit extra on the eyes. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to absorb and do what it needs to do. Focus on something to target this area where we see aging first. Okay. All right. I see in the chat, Veronica said I recently started using it and like it better. Carolyn says it feels good going on and I don't need to use my fingers. And Lori says that's my favorite eye cream. Yeah. So this is great if you're starting out, but then when you're ready to upgrade, we got you with the Time-Wise Repair. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some things to just take it to the next level with some eye care solutions. Maybe you have tired eyes. Have you ever used those cucumbers or heard of someone using the cucumbers and putting those over the eyes, right? Did you know Mary Kay has something that kind of mimics that, all right? And then even another trend we see so much on social media are those patches and so forth. And so for still on the skincare line or the skincare side of things, we're going to talk about some solutions for you that are more targeted to what you're looking for. And so the first thing is the Indulge Soothing Eye Gel. Okay, now this is something you could keep in your refrigerator. It's got the cucumber extract. Again, if you got the tired eyes and you deal with puffiness, this could be your jam. So you just take a little dollop. Again, I would still use the ring finger and just put a little bit. It feels cool, even though this has not been in my refrigerator. It feels cool to the touch. And it's just going to help with the tired eyes. So maybe when you're doing like your little spa time, you could be watching TV or scrolling on your phone, and you're just like, I'm just going to do a little self-care today. All right. The Indulge Soothing Eye Gel is a recommendation for you. And the other thing that is one of my favorites, but I just shared recently on a training with consultants, I need to do this more. I'll be good and then I don't, right? So even as consultants, we're not infallible. We don't have perfect routines, okay? We're always still improving on things. Maybe we're better in different seasons, in the winter months, maybe you're better. Now, daylight hours have increased and you're about to be outside and being like, okay, do I need to do all of this? Okay. But this is your hydrogel eye patches. And again, you may see this often, even social media influencers have these patches on all the time. I mean, people have these on at airports. They're wearing the patches everywhere, okay? And so the hydrogel eye patches, you get 30 pairs. So again, we're all about giving you the value, all right? But these are going to hydrate and refresh. You can put them on under the eye. So you got your little scooper here, and I'm going to just scoop them out because this is a perfect time to do this while I'm talking to you. I used to do this often when I would be doing an appointment, a virtual appointment, and I'd put these on, and that would be my way of getting it done. So I'm multitasking. Okay, so two of these, sometimes you got to separate them because two come out at one time, and you just put them on under, I think, Tamika, are you putting them on too right now while we're talking? Okay, she's putting hers on as well. She's like, let me multitask as well while I'm on here. Okay, so yes, they feel nice and cool and refreshing. A tip I remember learning from a consultant is she would put these on before she had to like go like drop off her sister at like her school, and she would just put her shades on. So this would be a way to like multitask, put them on in the morning, puts your sunglasses on. Nobody even sees the patches under your glasses, whether glasses or sunglasses. And then you go run your errand, come home, and it's done. So who are my people who like to multitask? You're the one who's putting on your makeup on while listening to an audiobook. Or you're trying to do two things at one time. You're like, let me maximize the time. These patches are perfect for that. So again, tiredness. I know for me personally, I'm on a computer screen for work a lot. And I remember once, like, we were working from home, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, like, your just screen time was just ridiculously high. And my eyes really, I could see the difference. And so I was like, let me start using these patches. And I committed to doing it like 2, 3 times a week with the patches for like a couple of weeks. I did like a before and after picture, and I saw a big difference. And I'm saying this out loud so that I will encourage myself to do this more frequently again, is to use the patches and just put them on. You can even put them on over makeup. So you don't have to worry like, oh, I've done my makeup already, I can't use these. You can. And you'll get the benefits of the ingredients, the glycerin and so forth. They'll absorb into the skin while you're living your life. Okay, so this is great for the person who likes to multitask. Maybe drop them even in your work bag. Just put them on when you've got a minute, maybe on your commute, maybe at the end of the day, maybe while you're getting the kids ready. They can be fit into the busiest of schedules. And then the last product we'll talk about for puffiness reduction is the Instant Puffiness Reducer. Now, this gives you a temporary tightening effect. You literally use a little rice size, like literally the rice size amount of this. And you can use this again under, and you just kind of tap it in, tap it in. So this is for the person who's like, I really want to target this area of concern, and it's designed to literally instantly to reduce that. So if you're thinking, well, I need some like tailored solutions for me, my suggestion would be to use our Skin Analyzer app, because the Skin Analyzer app is a free app you can download on your app store. And I always recommend for customers, maybe do this 2, 3 times a year, maybe seasonally. As we're moving from winter, spring is coming up in a couple of weeks, and you might need a different routine than what your winter routine was. If there are, and it takes a reading of the skin around your eyes specifically, and it's going to give you recommendations for your eyes that are tailored to you. So again, I'll just show you this visual really quick. And one second. You can even, if you're watching this, you can pause it. If you're watching the replay, pause it, grab your phone, scan the QR code if you have an iPhone or an Android, and literally take the skin analysis. It takes this picture of your face. It's going to tell you what are the readings for the skin, your skin tone. Do you have uneven skin tone, the texture, the eyes, the wrinkles? Since we're focused on eyes, I want to point out that part specifically, and then it's going to give you recommendations under the Your Regimen part, and you can even share those results with your beauty consultant. So this would be a cool way for us to know that you watch the replay of this, is if you take this analysis and then send the results to your consultant. Let her know, hey, I watched the replay of that a sparkle YouTube session, and here's what it tells me about my eyes. Which one should I start with? Okay, because the other thing I will say about the skin analyzer results is it might give you a list of things, and you might be like, whoa, this is a big old list. That doesn't mean you have to start with everything right away. Maybe you start with one or two things. Maybe you're like already using something, and maybe it's just the reminder of let me pull this back up out of my makeup bag or out of my skincare roll-up bag and start using it. Okay. All right. So that's skincare focus. Really quick, we're going to talk about two newer things that are part of our makeup because we're focusing on the skincare because that's the foundation of everything, right? But sometimes we're like, ooh, I just need a little extra something, okay? And so Mary Kay has concealers and we've had a corrector before, but recently Mary Kay decided we're going to upgrade you. You know, let's think about Beyonce, the Upgrade You song. We're going to upgrade our corrector. We're going to upgrade our concealer. And so with the concealer, we now have it. It's a multi-benefit concealer. Okay. So not only does it help with, you know, giving that coverage, but you can even use it like sometimes for highlighter. Sometimes people use the concealer almost like a primer for the eyes. It does multiple things. And it even comes in more shades. Before we had 6 shades, now we have 9. And that's really helpful as well, so that we're not just trying to, okay, let me just fit into the box. There's more colors for the spectrum of variety that are people. Okay. And so that to me was huge. Being a person of color, you know, I was using the light bronze, sometimes in the deep bronze, but now there's a deep 1, a deep 2, and a deep 3. And for me personally, deep 2 is my perfect match. But then I will also sometimes use deep 1 when I want to highlight a little bit and just go a little lighter and brighten the eye area. I remember learning that tip from a makeup artist, but I still use my deep 2 first, okay? But then I will layer it with a little bit of deep 1, okay? And so a little bit goes a long way, you guys. I'm going to take the patches off just to show you like a quick visual. Now, granted, I do have on my makeup already and so forth. And I don't even know if you can tell, but I did have concealer on here, which kind of helped brighten the eye area because it was my faith meeting today. And I wanted to be extra glam. And, you know, you just do a little bit more when you know a lot of people are going to see you, okay? And so a little bit of the concealer, you can use this like on top of your foundation. So you can do your foundation and then a little bit of concealer. Some people, you guys, like I've even seen them share this. Some people might use concealer primarily and maybe a little CC cream, and that's the finished look. Okay. So there's a lot of choices and options there. And if you need something tailored, check in with your consultant. She'll give you some suggestions. But I want to point out this corrector, okay, because we have the light peach corrector, but now there's a deep peach corrector. It is designed, there's something for people with more melanin, okay? And I just have to point that out because again, for more melanated skin, sometimes for us, we'll see hyperpigmentation, we'll see dark spots, we'll see that area, those things of concern. And while we're working on it with the skincare, you're like, well, I just need a little, I want my confidence to be increased. Okay. And why I love this corrector is that it's a deep peach. So it's literally designed to neutralize and like blend it all out. It is like huge. And if you were someone who used our cream to powder foundation, I know that's discontinued now, this could really fill that gap of what you got from cream to powder, because cream to powder gave you more coverage, more yeah, just will give you a fuller coverage. Okay, so pairing this with your concealer and your foundation for me personally was the fix when cream to powder went away. Okay, and so one of the ways that I use this, and I will just show you a tiny little demo, and I probably didn't even bring the right brushes fully. This is our cream eye color brush. Personally, for me, because I do have hyperpigmentation, I use this underneath a foundation. So I put this on before foundation because it's very, very pigmented. Okay, like very. And I see the people nodding because you're like, yeah, it is. Okay. And so you're going to see this tiny little dot, tiny, 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 tiny. Okay. Like it makes me think of, okay, I give movie references. I don't know if anyone ever saw Confessions of a Shopaholic, but there's this part in it where the fashion editor is at the house of what was her name? Becky and everything. And her mom wanted to give her cake. And she's like, oh, give me a tiny piece. No, tiny, 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 tiny little piece. Like that's how you want to think about this corrector. Because when I show you just a dot of that, like that little dot, like I don't know if you can see it. Look how red that is. That is so red from that tiny little dot, like tiny, tiny, tiny. And that coverage is really working. So you can use this under the eye area, but you can also use this anywhere that you have like hyperpigmentation. Okay. So you can use it on the cheeks. You can use it on the chin. All right. Lori says the corrector is the truth. A couple of her customers feel more comfortable with glam now that we have changed the concealer and under eye corrector. Yes. So what this really does when you have dark spots is it's going to help blend it out. And then what I like to do, the first time it looked like warrior paint. Yeah, you apply too much. It does look like you're going to war. Okay, so that's why you want to put like foundation over it, which I forgot to bring with me. So bear with me. But what I like to do is even blend. And again, this is the deep one. This is not the right color. I should have read my other one. But if I would put a little concealer over it and then like blend it out. And then with some, let me see if I have any CC cream in here. I'm not usually a CC cream girl. No, I don't have my color in here, but you would put a little bit of your foundation over it and then it will blend it out and it will look like this side. Okay, because I have done my full makeup on this side. All right. But I just want to show you the visual and just how it literally does what it needs to do. And see, I didn't even use that much. I could put this on this like as a primer if I wanted to, because it's a multi-benefit. Concealer, but you see how it did, putting a little bit of the concealer did help neutralize that red, that peachy red. But it literally just like gives it a brighter, and I should have brought my other brushes, but it was just everything. It like really made such a difference for me. And just my confidence, because again, then I could put my foundation over it and it just looks like this, because this is a layered look of the corrector, the concealer, and my foundation. All right. And yet I'm still making sure I take care of my eyes with skincare products. Okay. So those are just a few tools and tips when it comes to not letting this springing forward affect our skin and our eye area. Again, this is the area everyone looks at you at first. They look at you in your eyes. So taking care of that skin around the eyes is just key, because that's where we focus on people. Even as I'm looking at you right now through the screen, I don't see you, I see the audience, but I don't see the other people, but like you see me and you're looking at me in my eyes as well. All right, so those are just some tips. We just wanted to share those with you. Carolyn wrote in the chat, you can use the eye gel over on it. You can put that on over makeup. Lori mentioned the soothing eye gel is great for allergy season. Yes, with the warm weather comes allergy season. Not looking forward to that. But you're right, it does help for that. And so we just have to adjust for the season. So we want to help usher in spring in a powerful way. And we thank you as always for showing up or watching the replay of our session. We'll see you on the next one.